Hey everybody, welcome back to our show. I'm joined here by Gabby from zkMakers, who is the head of BD. Welcome to the show, Gabby. How are you today?
Hello, Romeo. Yeah, thank you very much for having me today here. Pretty well. We are working really hard right now. We launched the mainnet last week, and we are pretty content and happy for having this AMA today with you. Yeah, Spicy Capital, you've been supporting us for quite a while already, so happy to say hi to all your community.
Likewise, and I'm sure they're excited to talk to you as well. And yeah, it has been a very busy week for you and the team. So we're obviously going to touch on that as well because these are huge milestones that you guys are going through right now. Before we do, let's start with a bit of an introduction. Gabby, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started with ZK Makers.
Sure thing. So my name is full name Gabi Belmonte. I'm from Barcelona, and the whole team basically is from Spain and Andorra. Um, I I am in crypto since 2016, and I was working in other fields until the CEO of zkMakers, Paul, uh, get phoned me one day and told me that if I wanted to join this project, this crazy project that he had been working on. And from the time that he told me what was it all about, I decided to jump in, leave my former work, and start working with him on zkMakers.
And that's such an interesting perspective too, because a lot of people that we speak to in this space, obviously because the space is so young, and you're getting people from all across industries, all across the world, and it's coming together to make this great industry. So that that kind of gives us a little bit of background as to how you started. So tell us a little bit about now ZK Makers. Maybe why you believe that there's a need in the world for ZK Makers.
Mhm. So when we first started our project, what we were trying to do was to create a platform that would allow traders, retail traders, sophisticated traders, all the traders that may be listening right now, to create a platform for them to perform market making and be rewarded
Mhm.
for the risk that they are assuming in the daily basis by trading. You are trading tokens that can be top market cap tokens to long tail tokens, and you are always assuming risk. However, you are generating volume, you are generating liquidity when trading. So this is basically what the market makers do. They generate liquidity for the, projects, and they earn vast amount of money. So how could we decentralize this whole market to allow retail traders to earn for the effort that they are doing, for the risk that they are assuming when trading? So we decided that we wanted to create one platform that would allow, in a decentralized and permissionless manner, would allow projects to reward traders, projects and exchanges, because there is also a huge case for exchanges, to reward traders in a decentralized ecosystem based in the smart contracts, and those traders to find a marketplace where they could find the trading opportunities that would make them earn yield from trading.
Mhm.
So uh, it was we've started like 1 year and a half ago, like October, November of 2021, and since then there have been a lot of changes, a lot of changes. First of all, the most important one is the use of zero knowledge to certify trading data. What means certify? So basically it allows a project, it allows a trader to prove in a trustless manner that they are generating volume or liquidity in a specific order book or an AMM. So um, the the zero knowledge allows us to add a new layer of privacy and a new layer of security that otherwise would be very difficult to maintain. And we can now say that our project has really few. weak spots on security and privacy, because basically we are non-custodial and we don't keep your secrets. So overall, the tool itself, it's the use of zero knowledge for our protocol makes a lot of sense. So let me start by explaining a little bit the technology that we are using. So I will start with an example that will be really clarifying for everyone. When you trade in a decentralized exchange, you have all your trading data in your Web3 wallet because everything runs on chain. However, when you trade in a centralized exchange, you don't have a way to trustlessly prove that you have generated volume or liquidity for a specific token. So what we have built is using zero knowledge circuits, a bridge between off-chain data and on-chain data, allowing any trader to prove in a trustless manner in their Web3 wallet the volume, the liquidity points, their P&L, their balances, etc., all to prove that in a trustless manner in their Web3 wallet. So that means that now you can have your activity in both centralized and decentralized exchanges in your same MetaMask account, MetaMask address, or a Trust wallet, or Coinbase wallet, etc.
And I'm sure there's a lot to dive into there. And one of the big things that that you're saying here too is the focus on decentralization and the self custodial aspect, which is exactly what this space is leading towards, right? Full
Mhm.
ownership of your assets, and control over everything from your personal wallet or digital profile, however you look at it.
Mhm.
And
I would say that you said ownership of your assets, in ownership of your data, and this is so important for us because centralized exchanges are getting all your data and they are obtaining income from it. So
Mhm.
they are selling it to third parties. So if you are able to control your own data and own it in your own Web3 wallet, you are able to use different protocols to obtain yield from it.
Yeah, and so that's the main thing, right? But there's also these, I'm sure that throughout the market there's a lot of copycats, let's say, of this idea or this perspective, and they claim to be decentralized, but a lot of platforms are mostly centralized in hopes to implement a decentralized structure at a later date. So, with that being said, there's a lot of competition out there. Tell us a little bit about what separates you from the competition in terms of features and structurally as well. But also, that decentralized aspect, is that something that has been the case from day one, or is that something that's going to be implemented at a later date?
It's a really good question. We have many questions in your question, so let me address them
For sure.
one by one. First of all, I will explain uh, how we use this technology in order to differentiate from other competitors,
Hmm.
and later I will talk about the decentralization of our own protocol. So we have built this technology, uh, these zero knowledge circuits, and we build on top of them different applications. Okay, zero knowledge circuits, they exist, there are a lot of projects using them, but our use case, it's completely different from any other project in the market. um, what if you Let me start with an example also. If you are able to prove to a third party in a trustless manner that you are generating trading activity for a specific token in a specific exchange, you have the capacity to be rewarded by the same project or the same exchange. So what we created here is a decentralized market making platform. This decentralized market making platform allows any project or exchange to provide rewards in order to incentivize traders to generate volume or liquidity in order books to specific token pairs. So we have volume for order books and AMMs and liquidity for order books currently. These are the main features. So basically, the project or the exchange, they can create a smart contract and lock rewards in that smart contract. The traders will go to zkMakers in order to look for trading opportunities. So I have I may have different pools that are offering rewards for increasing volume or increasing liquidity in that specific order book or AMM. So I'm as a trader, I decide which token I trade. I trade it in the exchange. I don't trade it in zkMakers. We don't offer this service, this feature. So you have to go to the exchange, trade it in there, and then prove that you have traded. So this proof is the one that is going to the smart contract and unlocks the rewards.
Mm.
So all the traders generate zero knowledge proof. They are sent to the smart contract, and at the end of the epoch, those rewards that were placed in the first place by the project or the exchange are distributed proportionally to the effort that each trader has done in order to create volume and liquidity. So this way we have for one side a marketplace that allows these traders to earn for um, for the risk that they are assuming when trading, and they can choose which tokens they want to trade in order to become professional market makers per se in a decentralized manner. And on the other side, we have the value for projects and exchanges, because instead of paying a market maker for generating volume and liquidity for them, they are rewarding a community. And this is so important because rewarding a community has a network effect, and it includes the power of decentralization on this market making model. So overall, this solution that it's the first one that we are launching, that is the first one that you can find in our mainnet, and we'll try to create a new model for generating market making that it's different from other competitors. For example, let me talk about competitors in here, which was one of the main questions that you launched. So which competitors are we looking here? So we have on one side market makers. Market makers, they do a very important job in maintaining the healthy order books. So they are quite really needed. So most of all for big exchanges that they attract a lot of users, and these market makers reduce the slippage, reduce the spread. So they are doing a really nice job in there. However, there is always the opportunity of decentralizing at least a part of this market. And this is what we are aiming for. Market makers, they are good, they're doing their jobs and they're doing fine. Most of them, not all, I have to say that. But also there is room for retail traders and sophisticated traders to earn like a market maker by generating volume and liquidity. What other competitors we have? We have Elixir Finance. Elixir Finance is a protocol. They are doing it really good. I love that project. Basically, you as a trader, um, you can place liquidity in a smart contract, and Elixir Finance has their own algorithmic bot that will uh, will be used to generate liquidity and volume for tokens. So basically, they are allowing users to place their money in order for them to do the market making, and then they distribute the yield throughout all the to all the users. We also have Arrakis Finance, which they are doing a market making for Uniswap V3. They are really focused uh, on Uniswap right now. Maybe later they will expand to other ecosystems. In all, in at the end, we I want to talk about Hummingbot. Hummingbot, it's our main reference in this market. They have a community which is a big community of traders that are generating liquidity in order books and also in AMMs, volume in AMMs. And this is where we got our first idea, because we saw that there was a lot of potential in this market. However, they are heavily centralized, and their scalability it's quite low. because it's so centralized that they have complex data pipelines that we have been able to solve in with our model.
Hmm.
So how we differentiate from all these competitors? First, we allow traders to generate the volume and liquidity using their own tools and in their exchanges that they have already been trading for a long time. Second, we are non-custodial. We don't want the funds of the traders, and that is so important because we don't want to have. We are able to create a model that doesn't have a risk for the traders to lose their money with a hacking problem that hacking issue that other projects may have. Like for example, Elixir. So there's the potential that all those funds that you are lending to the project get hacked. In our case, we are non-custodial. You have your assets in the exchange or in your Web3 wallet. Also, we differentiate by being able to integrate as many exchanges as we want. We can integrate centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges with a lower cost than other projects, like for example Hummingbird, which the data pipeline is so complex. These are the main differences. Also, another one is that we use zero knowledge, and this allows privacy. You don't have to give us your secrets, your API key secrets. You can store them. They are stored basically in your local device. We don't have a database, and we don't store them. So there is also another point of risk-free that give us value compared to our competitors.
Yeah, I agree. And you know, when you kind of started talking about other market makers, I started to notice that there is, maybe not currently, and maybe that's not the point, but maybe a small risk that these market makers, these traditional, let's call them market makers, will not be around, depending on how much you disrupt the space with this product potentially. But also, you did clarify and mention that it's not necessarily to kick them out, but to utilize a part of the market that isn't being utilized currently. And I think that's key. There is just so much untapped potential within our user base. And I'm talking about the industry as a whole, but also specifically for market making. This vast amount of people that just are not being utilized to, for market making in this case. And that's why it's a great idea to see that, what can we do. And it's interesting that you say Hummingbot is one of your inspirations, because like you said, they're highly centralized, but there is so much potential in with their algorithm and with their code, that that adding that decentralized aspect creates this huge new product, right? And that's kind of why it's interesting to see zkMakers' perspective on that. But that being said, obviously, that takes a lot of effort, and I kind of want to touch on the people that are helping build this future. So tell us a little bit about the team, and what makes you feel confident that this is achievable with the team that you have.
Great, great question. Our team, it's basically two teams in itself, and I'll explain you why. First, I was approached by Paul. He's the CEO of zkMakers. Yeah, he's been working in centralized exchanges. He's been working in several protocols. He's been in the space for almost 8 or 9 years. So he has a lot of experience in working with top projects in the field. He approached me. I decided to jump and start doing and move from my previous my former job that was in the automotive industry to start working in cryptocurrency and blockchain basically. So with that said, we started developing the use cases. We started developing the value for everyone, for the traders, for the exchanges, for the projects. And at a point, we decided, okay, we have to build this. We need to build this. So we had the lack of, we were lucky meeting Arcade Labs. Arcade Labs, it's a company that's been working in the space for almost 5 years. they've been they are developers. They've developed smart contracts and platforms and protocols throughout Spain. Some of them quite known. They have worked with Shirtum. They have worked with Bit2Me. They have worked with Polka Starter. So they are quite known in the work that they are doing. It's impressive. So we were lucky to meet them. We explained them what we tried to do, and they loved it. They loved it. They told us that they wanted to be part of this project. So basically, they are one team. We are another team, but we are the core team of zkMakers. So we have united our efforts in order to be able to launch this product. So they've been working. The dev team has done an amazing job by building the zero knowledge circuits, by building the platform, by building the smart contracts, and and it makes a lot of sense for me and Paul to have them and to be sharing this project with them, because our roadmap, which we'll later talk about our roadmap, it's huge, and we want to have the best team in order to develop it. They have developed really similar projects with not only blockchain, but they also have a lot of experience in the financial world, in the banking system. So it makes a lot of sense for us to have them in our team and to be able to share with them this project, and they you can see it in our mainnet. Everything works really smoothly, and we are able to otherwise I don't know where would we at this point in time if we haven't met them, because we were asking other devs, and zero knowledge, I have to look into it. I have to see what is that exactly. So they already knew what it was, and they had worked on that before, so it makes a lot of sense for us to meet them.
Yeah, and it's good to learn that it's not just one team that makes up ZK Makers. It's two, and with that kind of synergy, you can really create something special. Having the ability to support each other in different aspects in terms of like the team collaborating. So that's really good to see.
Yeah,
Um,
you see projects you see projects that they are founded by only devs or
yeah,
only financial people, but it's difficult to find a project that is founded from both sides, but sides of financial and business development and marketing and the dev team. So we have everything in our core team, so that it gives us a lot of mm, things can run quicker
yeah.
than if you have to get a contract with a dev team from that is not really into the project. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. So let's get a little bit into the technical side, but more so just about the utility of the native token. So
Okay.
obviously, running a platform as robust as yours will require a token as its utility, and we want to know what that utility looks like.
Okay. So we didn't know if we wanted to launch a token or not. Yeah, that was a decision that took us a few months to decide, because we we know the problems of atomization and liquidity fragmentation throughout the market, and we didn't want to be one other long tail token. We wanted to, if we wanted to do a token model, it had to make sense with our project. So we came up with several ideas, and the ones that we finally decided to be the features of our token makes a lot of sense for us. So basically, I have talked about the active layer of rewards. That means that projects and exchanges are able to place rewards in smart contracts in order to reward traders. But there is a second layer of rewards where our own native token is involved. So the token itself, it has an allocation for rewards. If I'm not wrong, is around 30%. Yeah, I don't recall it from memory. It's a 30% of the token that every week it's unlocks one percentage of this token. So every week you have an allocation of our own token, and can be distributed among all the existing pools or create new pools in our protocol. So basically, that means that a project with a small percentage of voting power, they are able to place rewards every week without any cost for them. The same goes for an exchange. The same goes for a community of one specific token. So let's say that you have a strong community. You ask them to purchase in zkM tokens. That will be the ticker of our token zkM, and that the voting power that they have by holding our token and staking it, they use it to provide rewards every week for the token of that community. So that means uh, that the value of our token, our main value, we use it for other things that I will now explain, is that you will be able to get a second layer of rewards every week for based on voting power. It's similar like core finance, like voting screw tokens. And also, we use the 3-3 model for Olympus DAO. Um, but overall, the sense that it makes is that giving the traders more yield to earn. So the more rewards that are placed in smart contracts, the more they are going to earn. Also, we are using our token for governance. So all the decisions of the platform, they are going to be made by this DAO. That means exchanges, integrations, partnerships, um, bribes, and treasury fund management. All of that will be decided by the DAO. Also, we didn't talk about decentralization before. So in order, we let me you will see that in the graph that you are showing right now. The zero knowledge oracle, it's currently run by our servers. Okay, we need the token in order to decentralize the zero knowledge oracle. So one of the main features for the token, it's to be able to run an oracle by staking, by holding zkM tokens. And there is a fourth, I would say, a fourth feature for our token, which is buybacks. So we want to promote the use of our token and want to distribute um, the most rewards possible to the oracles and in the bribing system with our own token. So they will be around 10% of the rewards used to buy back our own token.
Wow. I mean, quite a lot of utility there, from rewards to buyback to, just interacting with the smart contracts. There's just a lot of utility, and I think that's one of the marks of a strong platform. It's just the involvement, uh, or the dependency, as well as on the token. But you also mentioned that it wasn't really something that you guys were looking into until uh, after the fact, that and that's another key thing to point out, because you know really the mark of a good product is the focus on creating it prior to actually having the token created. So really appreciate hearing that, and I'm sure a lot of users and watchers will appreciate that as well.
Yeah.
So that being
Let
said,
me give you
yeah,
another
sure,
point
sure.
in here. Sorry.
No, no, go ahead.
The yes, as you say, we already launched the mainnet and we don't have a token. Our project, we have done our financials, and our project is self-sustainable without the need of a token. So
Hmm.
this is why we're thinking, shall we launch it or shouldn't we? So we decided to launch it because it adds value to the project itself.
Hmm.
But our platform, it's built, our model is built to be self-sustainable, and this is something that I want everybody to have it clear, because we it's not a token, it's not a meme token that doesn't have any value
Yeah.
in our ecosystem. So it has utilities to be able to gain his own market.
Yeah, yeah, totally. And yeah, no, it's impressive. I want to switch gears here also to kind of take a break from my questioning, but also give a chance to our AMA contestants to ask their questions. So, for all the viewers watching today, we've sent out an announcement on our socials, and if you're not following, please follow zkMakers as well as Spicy Capital on Twitter, YouTube. All the links of our platforms will be in the description down below. But essentially, with our announcement, came a lot of responses, a lot of interest, and we've selected the best questions from the ones asked on our announcement, and these are going to be the winners of this week's AMA prize pool, which is a way for everybody in our community as well as ZK Makers community to interact with the team and to find out so much more. So, thanks to everybody that participated. Here are some of the questions. The first one from this person who asks, how does ZK Makers empower smaller exchanges and token issuers to participate in market making and liquidity provision?
Yeah, good question. So, tier two or tier three exchanges, um, they have it quite difficult to attract new users to their markets, because basically there are many exchanges. You have also the tier one exchanges that they get a huge percentage of the market share, so they have to differentiate themselves. So uh, the good way that the model that we have for those small exchanges is that they are able to attract retail traders, to attract sophisticated traders to their venues by rewarding them for generating liquidity or generating volume in their order books or volume in their AMMs. So that's a key point, because if I am a trader and I'm user, let's say, of Binance, and I am generating a volume and liquidity in Bitcoin USDT by trading in my daily activity, I am not earning any yield by trading in Binance currently. So what if I go to zkMakers and I see that a tier two exchange is giving rewards for trading Bitcoin USDT? I will think myself, yeah, I can get rewarded for trading in that exchange the same risk that I'm assuming trading in Binance, because I'm trading the same assets, I'm trading the same pair. So if I if I am mm, if I do my due diligence on the exchange, which is important, is always important, and I decide that it's a good exchange and has potential, I'm going to go to that exchange. I'm going to sign up and I'm going to start trading there and generating fees for that exchange. Why? Because I am obtaining a rebate. I'm obtaining a rebate in the rewards that they are placing. So I have Binance, which is all cost for me, and I have this other tier two exchange, which allows me to get a rebate or obtain yield by trading, and I can surpass the fees that I'm paying and obtain another revenue stream for trading the same asset. So it makes a lot of sense to for us to integrate small exchanges and tier two exchanges.
Yeah, definitely, and it's exactly as you said. If you're already trading that specific pair, and you can do it elsewhere with rewards, why wouldn't you? You're incentivized to use the smaller exchanges, but also just to come to the platform, and I'm sure there's going to be quite a selection as well, right? So that's
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, exactly. We have to integrate the exchanges one by one, so we can whitelist exchanges. We're going to ask our DAO in order for them to vote which are the exchanges that they want to integrate first. So basically, currently we have now in Telegram, and I'm not sure in Twitter, a poll that is asking to the users if they which is the next exchange that they want to integrate. So we want to make it organically. We want to give our traders the possibility of choosing which where they want to trade and in which exchanges shall we integrate.
Yeah, yeah, and that's great to hear. Just getting feedback from the community and using that to really build out your lineup. That's exactly what the community likes to see. So that's good. Um, so let's move on to our second question here, and this person asks, how does the reward system of zero knowledge liquidity pools work to incentivize users to actively participate in the market by placing orders that contribute to improved liquidity? What factors determine the amount of rewards earned by a user for their open orders?
That's a good question also. So we're talking here. I explained you before. We have two features in our mainnet. It's volume and it's liquidity. So uh, volume, they are asking liquidity, but let me explain first volume. Volume, it obtains all the zero knowledge proofs of all the traders and sums all the different volume from the zero knowledge proofs and distributes the rewards proportionally. That works different in the liquidity because we have to take many aspects in here. First of all, we have to know the distance from the spread that the open order is. So it could be far away, 20% from the current price. That doesn't add any value to the order book. So we need the closer you are to the average price, the more points are you going to get from that liquidity. Also, the amount of the order. It's not the same an order of $1 than an order of $1,000. You are providing more liquidity with $1,000. Also, the time that the order has been in the order book. You could be saying that, yeah, I can do spoofing. I am able to generate a lot of orders and get a lot of liquidity points. However, you are going to be penalized if your order is not in enough time in the order book. And also important, we're going to also add a points if the order is closed, because at the end of the day, what the that means that that liquidity was executed, that liquidity was closed by another trader. So this gives added this increases the points that you are obtaining by providing liquidity if the order is closed. So we take here the several factors. We all put them in one formula that it's going to be it's in the smart contract, and it will be also available in our Gitbook and our documentation.
Yeah, and it creates a competitive edge, or a competitive field to participants because of the fact that there's just so many different ways to, or different parameters to creating the reward and actually receiving it. So, it incentivizes you to like you said, be closer to the action in terms of being near the spread, as well as your actual size of liquidity or volume you're providing. So there's a lot of things that really incentivize you to perform, and that's good. So let's move on to Twitter question number 3 here. And this person asks, what are the key benefits of using zero knowledge proofs in the zkMakers protocol for market makers and liquidity providers? How does this technology enable greater transparency and security in the decentralized market making process? I think we touched on this a little bit earlier, but it's still a great question.
Yeah, we explain it, but on the way, I'm going to go deeper in here. So we use zero knowledge circuits in order to avoid hacking points in our system. So basically, if we don't hold the secret of your API keys, any any hacker will not be able to obtain your API keys and steal it from you. First of all, this is one important point of using zero knowledge. Also, take into account that we are only using read-only API keys. So the traders can generate that read-only API key because what we do at the end of the day is only reading what these traders are doing. Another aspect, or another layer of using zero knowledge is that we don't want the traders to have publicly in the blockchain their own strategies. And this is so important because there are market makers that are using really complex algorithms that they spend a lot of time developing and testing it. So we, with zero knowledge, we provide a layer of privacy to those strategies. Basically, you are not saying when you're generating a zero knowledge proof in zkMakers, you are not showing your trades. You are showing the result of your trades. You are showing the volume that you generated, the liquidity points that you generated, the P&L, the balances that you may have. You are proving data that it's not your strategies, is not every single trade, it's the outcome of this trading activity that you are able to show to any third party in a trustless manner. For example, I'll give you an example here. You may follow one influencer, and this influencer is saying that he's doing, let's say, 5 million volume a day in Binance and obtaining a P&L of 20%. Now he can prove it. Yeah. So now you as a community of an influencer, you can ask them to prove it, and they in order for them to not share their strategies, to avoid like yeah, I would do that but I won't because it's a privacy issue for me. No, no, it's not. We assure that all the data that is sent to the blockchain, it's the outcome of your trading activity. So you can prove that volume, you can prove that liquidity, you can prove that P&L, but not your overall strategy.
Beautiful. You see that that's one of the things that is really hard to accomplish. Just validating that you have, let's say, a good strategy or good skill in some cases, right? And because, like you said, the outcome is validated, not necessarily the strategy. Obviously, it means that if you're successful, you have a successful outcome, you have a good strategy. But
Mhm.
you don't necessarily need to reveal the inner workings of that. So that's impressive, right? That's I'm sure a lot of people can appreciate that.
Thanks.
Awesome. Let's move on to question number 4 here, and very short question, but very powerful one as well. Do you have audit certificates?
Yes, we do. Of course, all our smart contracts has been tested by Hacken, all the ones that we have deployed. We are building other smart contracts in order to add features to our platform, and they are going to be also audited by Hacken or any other provider. Everything is public. You can find the links in our Gitbook or directly in Hacken website. If you look for zkMakers, you will find our report. We got a 9 out of 10 security score. So yes, we have worked with them in order to improve the security of our platform. And as I said, as we don't keep any secret of the traders, as we are non-custodials, the risk of using zkMakers is very low. You cannot. Basically, the only thing that could be hacked is the reward pools, and how much rewards we can have in our reward pools. Yeah, let's say mm, thousands or maybe $100,000 overall in 1 week. So this is what it's going to be lost if there is a hacking. And this is something that we can assume. It's not 200 millions or 600 millions that the hackers obtain when they're hacking a breach or something like that. So our risk points are really low that hackers won't have any interest in hacking us, basically.
Yeah, and like just the prize pool itself, that's not a direct hit to anybody involved, right? That's more of a just outside, I guess outside capital that gets hit, but you're still safe in for the most part. So that's why it's key, and it's good to hear that you got audited by Hacken as well. Trusted name in the space for many years. Also, they are one of the, I believe, the developers of the Hummingbot app as well. So you know, very good name, very trusted as well, and 9 out of 10. That's great. So for all the viewers as well, just if you want to see that report, like Gabby said, the links will be posted, but I'll also put it in the description down below for everybody to click on and check out. Awesome. And now we come to our last question here from Twitter. And this question is, what is your strategy to track new users to your project and keep them long term? Because marketing is a central element for every project. So that everyone knows the potential that a project can bring is vital to achieve the goals set.
Or strategy that we are using in order to attract new traders, in order to do our marketing campaigns, it's really is without any cost. So we are not spending money in marketing. Why? Because you can spend a lot of money in marketing and never reach your objectives. What we are looking here to be users of our platform are sophisticated traders. So those traders that already know how to trade, that they are using tools to trade like three commas or trading view, that they know what they are doing. We are not looking for those kind of airdroppers that are or developers that are going to one project to another, being their community. So we don't want that in our community. We want to generate a community that is valuable for the project itself. So we need to attract these sophisticated traders. So how we do that? We do that in two ways: with partnerships and with integrations. So we partner up with both platforms. Which both platforms? Margin and Mizar. Both of them, they have they are growing. They have 15K users approximately, both of them, and it makes a really good fit for us because those partnerships with both platforms, uh, the communities that they have, they already know how to trade and they have the tools to do so. So it makes a lot of sense that these these communities of these bot platforms use zkMakers to earn yield on top of what they are earning for the trading activity. So uh, those are the community that we're looking for: people that generate liquidity using algorithms that in people that is used to trade and generate liquidity. We don't want people that is not knowing what that it's there are takers, basically, because our model is liquidity provision and also volume provision, but liquidity provision is so important, so you need to have automated tools in order to perform that. So that those partnerships make a lot of sense for us because it allows us to onboard communities that are big enough that the bots that they are using are have been in the market for at least 2 3 years. So it makes a lot of sense to onboard them as communities. Also, the other way of growing is with integrations. So every time that we integrate an exchange, there is a community behind, a community of traders that is using that exchange. If that exchange is placing rewards to reward their traders, but also to attract new traders, we are onboarding new communities. We are onboarding communities of Binance, Girayo, KuCoin, and other exchanges that we are integrating. So it makes sense for us to grow in an organic way more than spending all our resources in marketing, which we will find maybe a low percentage of the target that we are aiming to attract to the game makers.
Amazing, amazing, and yeah, no, it's a good strategy, but also it's one that's rewarding. So that wraps up our Twitter question segment for this show. Um, we come back to our regular programming, let's call it, and we have just a couple more questions just to close out the AMA. But we want to ask, obviously, we being Spicy Capital, your roadmap has probably been a roller coaster of ups and downs, and what are you most proud of in terms of achievements to date, and then give us a look into the future of what your roadmap eventually will look like.
Okay, so um, what I believe was the best decision that we could take was to implement zero knowledge. So zero knowledge now you're hitting everywhere, but we were working on that 1 year ago when nobody was not knew what zero knowledge was. So we saw that there was this technology that would allow um our platform to become secure and private, and we decided to take it, although it took us some time to more time that we expected to build all the zero knowledge circuits. But once that we have it, we have many applications that we can do in a private and secure way. So for example, now we have only launched our decentralized market making protocol, but also we are exploring and we are working on a scoring system. And what does a scoring system mean? So you will be able to obtain uh, scoring according to your trading abilities. So if you are a trader, let's say sophisticated trader, you're moving 1 2 millions a day in the exchanges that you are working in. With this scoring system, you will be able to prove to projects, prove to exchanges that you are a good trader, and you can have partnerships as a person, as a trader yourself. You can have partnership with those projects. You can have partnership with those exchanges because you will be able to prove them that you generate liquidity, that you generate volume, that your P&L is successful. You will be able to show them your balances. You will be able to show basically everything that we can get from an API key. So this scoring system makes a lot of sense in the future to be implemented in zkMakers protocol. In how we use as a project, how we will be able to use this scoring system, we will be able to use it in a lending protocol that we are also building. So imagine that you are a trader yourself and you want to raise capital in order to keep performing trading with your abilities. So you will be able to have a different interest on the capital that you are able to borrow based on your scoring system. And this is something that doesn't exist currently in the market. It makes a lot of sense because most of the people that are borrowing money, they are using it for trading. And you, as a lender, you don't know if they are good or bad traders, and you don't know the risk that you are assuming by lending them your capital.
It's such a simple, idea, but at the same time so powerful. Just the idea of reputation and how that plays into collaborating with other parties. Because obviously, we look at that in our day-to-day life too. From even just ordering an Uber, you can tell whether or not this driver is good or not, or if this guest is good or not. So it gives you an idea of whether or not you'd like to work or collaborate with them, and this is just another step in that direction. But the great thing here is that it's validated on chain, right? Like all this information is not just hey, he's good and take your word for it. No, this is all validated and it's all confirmed. So that's super powerful. And so obviously that's a great aspect of, and one that obviously you should be very proud of. So how does that tie into your roadmap looking forward? What does the rest of let's say this year and onwards looks like for zkMakers?
So yeah, the main launch has been our, I would say, until today, the main milestone. So we were eager to launch this project. We have had 5 months of testnet, and we already launched it 1 week ago. So what is in the roadmap until the end of year? So first of all, we need to keep growing. And that's the most important thing. We need to close partnerships, which we are already closing, and some announcement will be done around June. Yeah, important announcements and important partnerships I'm talking here. Also, we want to go multi-chain. Because currently you're able to place rewards in the smart contracts in whitelisted tokens, which are basically BUSD and USDT, if I'm not wrong, and also your native token if it's deployed in BNB. However, there are projects in other chains that they want to use our product as well, but they want to place their native tokens as rewards because maybe they don't have enough liquidity currently for giving in USDT or BUSD. So we need to increase. We want to launch multi-chain before the end of the year. We estimate around September, October, and this is also an important feature. But also we have another business line that we are building. We are building an SDK. So basically, you will be able to certify your trading activity directly in the centralized exchange, and it is so cool because basically you won't have to go to zkMakers. The own centralized exchange, they will have this widget that will allow the certification of your trading activity on chain directly from the exchange. And this is so powerful
Yeah.
because you as a trader, you will be able to automatize your certifications and you will have the support of the centralized exchange itself. You won't have to go to zkMakers and do all the certifications, and then you will be able to do it automatically in your centralized exchange account.
And that would be as simple for the centralized exchange themselves, as well as the users, as simply integrating their API key, right? Like this is going to be passive. This is going to be something that is just they take advantage of, with again doing something they're already doing. So that's, I'm sure, a huge benefit to everybody. And yeah, that's a great so when is that going to be rolling out, you think?
We we have a date, but it's around summer.
Okay.
I cannot give you a lot of
Of
information here
course.
because there will be some kind of exclusivity
Yeah. Yeah.
for one exchange. But yeah, I cannot give you a lot of information here.
I know, but you really do know how to build up the anticipation. I mean, now you mentioned one exchange, and now we're wondering which one. But totally understand. At the end of the day, it's an exciting time, regardless of what the information looks like, and for us here at Spicy Capital, as well as our community, I think I speak for everybody when I say this is very exciting project, and a very exciting time during your roadmap. As you said, you just launched mainnet last week, and there's I'm sure a lot of things that you have to look at right now too. So it's a busy time, but one that's very rewarding in terms of a huge milestone that you've passed on your roadmap. So congratulations to you as well as the team, Gabby, and
Thank you.
also for really taking care in with the community, having, like you mentioned earlier in the chat, just the care of the voting system, the DAO system, getting feedback, and for all the viewers, remember, if you're not already, make sure you follow zkMakers on all their social media platforms. All the links will be in the description down below. They have a lot of stuff coming out within the next few months, and you don't want to miss a single thing. So, Gabby, once again, it was a pleasure speaking to you today. I really appreciated your in depth look into zkMakers, and really excited to see what else you guys are going to come up with over there. So, until the next time we see each other, it was a pleasure speaking, and thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, Romeo. Thank you for giving us the opportunity of using this AMA to explain to your community and also to our community what are we doing. And hopefully, I will be able to share more news with you in the next future.
For sure. Until then, we'll see you.